It's Jen, your friendly Pilates instructor. Thanks for coming to my channel. So you want to know about training celebrities on the Reformer. Well, it's no different than any other piece of equipment, but this is what I really like to train people on. And yes, the answer is I did train him. Yes, he's a nice guy, but we're not here to talk about that. Okay? What I want to talk to you about is if you do get a celebrity as a client and you're nervous, you're like, what do I train him on the Reformer? Just ask him or her, okay? Whoever it is. What sort of movie are they making? Do they need to train something specific for the movie that they're in? Maybe they're not even making a movie right now. Maybe they're just trying to train at home and you want to give them some great training with flexibility, strength, all that great stuff that this Reformer can do for you, or whatever Reformer it is that you're going to use for that celebrity. Maybe you want to ask your client, hey, what are your goals for the next 6 months? For example, I've got a client and he makes lots of movies with lots of stunts. Yep, you know who he is. So what I usually do is find out what sort of stunts he's doing in the movies, right? The goal is to keep him safe and keep him injury-free while they film, because it's a little bit different with a celebrity who's doing stunts, because they cannot get injured while they're filming. That would ruin the entire year. Okay, so you want to make sure that they're nice and safe, and that's why I feel like Pilates is great for them. If they are doing any type of jumping in the movie, maybe they're jumping from building to building, what sort of things would I give them? Well, jump board. Hey, this is perfect for them. This is going to give them cardio for running. What if they're doing a lot of sprint scenes? Okay, so you can really mix it up with your jump board here. Let me give you an example. I would put them on 2 springs, possibly 3. And for the next 6 months, I might be training them on speed work, right? We would take the jump board. We would start out slow. We would go quicker. We would go heavier springs. We might practice some more jumping, tucking. We could do all sorts of stuff like that for them. What if, for example, they are riding a motorcycle on their next movie? What does that entail? That entails stability. What if they're taking that motorcycle off of a cliff? And they're going to have to do it multiple times, say maybe 14, 15, 16 times if they have to retake on the set. Now, a lot of celebrities don't do their own stunts, but some of them do. As you know, they are proud of that they can do all their own stunts. And they want to stay strong forever until they stop making movies. If we were doing motorcycle stunts, then I would work on their strength. I would work on a lot of one-legged stuff on the Reformer. I would work on planks for stability, core strength, right? All sorts of great stuff like that. So maybe keep the same 2 springs on. I might go backward here. I might step on my jump board. I might put my hands down here, right? And I might press myself up into a plank so that it looks like that. Okay, you can put your toes here. You can put your toes on top. It's whatever works for you. And then I'm going to press out and in. Give them some nice core stability. Okay, again, just an example. Okay, let's go for something else. What if our celebrity is working with a lot of things like swords? They're making a movie with swords, right? They want to maybe be a samurai in the movie. What does that entail? That entails strength in the arms. Regular swords that they might be practicing with are going to be about 20 pounds each. So what I might do is take my straps. Let me give you an example. All right. Let's lay on the back. I would work their triceps. I would work their shoulders, their deltoids, right? We already sort of did that as we work on planks, but we could work with straps. There's just so many things you can do on a Reformer, right? So I might bend my elbows to the side and I might take them into some tricep presses. I might take the arms out to the side. I might do a little bit of shoulder and lat work, right? I may do arm circles. Again, as they get stronger, I would take those springs up to a heavier load, starting a little bit lighter, and then adding each week, building until those shoulders become really nice and strong. Okay, so let's go one more thing that we might want to talk about. What if they're doing a lot of running in their movies? So if you're at the movie theater and you see that particular celebrity doing a sprinting scene, well, you have to remember that when we're on set, that particular person might be doing that running scene 30 times in a row in 3 days, because the cameramen need to keep different angles. They need to see how they look. They might change something up in the middle of a scene. So it's not just one time running, it's run, 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 run a lot. So at that point, you might want to do some cross training as well. Usually what I have is a treadmill nearby where I have them moving between jumping on the jump board, doing a lot of strength training with the legs, maybe heavier springs here when you're doing your footwork. That would work. And then jumping on a treadmill for little quick sprinting. Okay. So coming back here, from there, here, and there. You get the idea. I might even throw in a foam roller in there just to make sure that everything is rolled out. Again, the idea is to keep the celebrity safe while they're filming a movie. And also, it's not like they're making movies all year long. In between when they're not making the movies, what might be fun for you on this reformer is to completely change up the exercises. Ask them what their goals are now. Do they want to stay the same weight, the same shape? What are they looking for, right? And then you can add some new fun stuff just to change it up, right? So we could do stuff like maybe take the feet in straps, right? And we want to work on their flexibility. We still want to keep them nice and flexible during their non-movie making times, right? So we might stretch those adductors because they just use their legs a lot. We might add some leg circles, right? We may add some presses. There's just so many things you can do on a reformer. And again, this one is just a very inexpensive home reformer. Now, I wouldn't necessarily use this particular reformer on said celebrity. I most likely would get a commercial unit, something really heavy and durable, possibly like a balanced body, maybe a Stott, a Peak. There's all sorts of commercial units that you can look at. But for today's idea, I'm just giving you this so that you can see it's very similar. And again, if you're just going to get a home unit for yourself, well, hey, get one of the less expensive ones. You don't need to buy a super expensive one to have at home. So last thing we want to talk about here is dumbbells. All right, I've got nice little light dumbbells here. So if I had a woman celebrity, which I've had, they're looking to not get, jacked, right? They don't want to be huge. They want to be nice and toned. So you can use really light dumbbells on their reformer workout. Okay. It works fine. For the guys, I would go a little bit heavier. Again, not too heavy. They don't need that. There's just so many different things you can do on a reformer, meaning adding spring loads and stuff like that for resistance. But for example, if I wanted to add these to their jump board workout, I could take these bad boys and I could do pec flies while I jump or while I do footwork. I could do chest presses, anything. Think about the stuff you do at the gym. We could take them here. We could go tricep or hammer curls. We could go skull crushers. You all know skull crushers. Again, all of these things we can do while we're doing footwork. Okay, and also this is going to help increase their coordination, right? So we might do hammer curls while we jump. We could do chest presses while we jump. You get the idea, right? Skull crushers, don't hit your head. You want to be careful. We can also add alternating presses overhead. Okay? We could do pec flies. Pec flies, here we go. And again, change the dumbbells according to who your client is and ask them what they would like. They'll be happy to tell you. They've got goals. Everybody's got goals. So do the ones that work best for them that will keep them safe, just like all of your clients. Okay, guys, thanks for coming. I'll have more coming very soon. And if you have any comments or questions, anything like that that you need to know in regards to training your celebrity client, please let me know. And even not a celebrity client, let me know. I'll also be adding a video about how to train professional athletes as well. That'll be coming up very soon. I've trained a lot of LA Lakers and I've trained the Kings, and they all have different wonderful goals as well. So I will be happy to add those in the video very soon. All right. Thanks, you guys. If you can, subscribe and like, and I'll see you soon. Bye.